Hello people, this is Toby from WOWCONNECT. I have with me today one of the best photographers in Nigeria. So let me allow her introduce herself. Hi Wani.
Hi Toby. Hi, my name is Wani and I'm a wedding and portrait photographer based in Lagos, Nigeria.
So Wani, the first thing, I'm going straight to it. How we all know all our brides, clients choose vendors from Instagram. I have a lot to say about that, but what do you think, those that insist that that's the only way, if that's possible, what do you advise, or how do you advise people to choose their photographer from social media, basically?
So Instagram is huge, yes. And I think it's actually a great way to kind of sort through vendors and figure out what you like and maybe narrow it down to like 2-3 vendors. But then I think you should always meet your photographer, or at least speak to your photographer. You should see a whole wedding from your photographer, so you're sure they're the ones shooting those events, because we have a lot of people stealing, you know, especially I know that it happens a lot with makeup artists, but also with photography.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, yes, sadly. I had a couple who had their pictures stolen from my website and made into a billboard. Like this, I know, I felt so terrible, I felt really bad about it as well, and and it's an issue when everything is going online. It's something we have to deal with. But I think, you always have to make sure that it is the person's work, because it has happened to people where they're like, I saw these pictures on his website, and when he showed my wedding, I don't know what happened, and the person just stolen work. So you do have to be careful.
How do they ensure it's the person's work?
I think what's great about Instagram is that you have the connection. So you have the wedding planner saying, I worked with this person. You have the makeup artist saying, I worked with that person. So that's a way of kind of ensuring that there are people who know. So exactly. So if you have a bride, if you have a referral coming through your wedding planner, so you're like, I found this person, do you know about them? And a lot of the time, like the top people, the wedding planners will know about them. They will have worked with them, or know someone who's worked with them. So you just need to get some kind of reference. Not necessarily from the person's clients, but from other exactly.
vendors. Okay, another thing I'd like to ask is, what are so yes, before they whittle down to the 2 or 3 photographers, what are the things they should look out for when they're searching in terms of skill, basically?
See, photography is quite subjective. It's an art form, so it's quite subjective. Some people like super Photoshop pictures. Some people, the clouds and very dramatic. Some people like soft and romantic. Some people like very dramatic. So Instagram is great for comparing and seeing what you like. But also, I think what's very important is maybe someone you think you can connect with.
I think that's so important. Like when I match photographers with clients, personality is one of the first things I look at. Personality, should I say before style? I think so, because you don't want, they're both important, I think.
It is, because you think about, I speak mostly about weddings, but you're going to spend the whole day with this photographer, you're spending, it can be 10 to 14 hours, and if it's someone who smells, who's going to be nasty to your bridesmaids, who's rude to your parent, who makes you feel, because as a photographer, for me, shooting a bride on her wedding day, it's a very important responsibility. I want her to be calm, I want her to be relaxed, because that reflects in her pictures, it makes my work look good if she's happy, so you're always very gentle, especially when you have brides that are a little bit like, bridezillas or whatever. It's just like, I'm always very calm, no matter what's happening, you're relaxed, and it's going to be fine, you're worried about that, how can we fix it? So personality is very important. Some people like to be up and jokey. I have some friends who are the crazy dancers. By the time they leave, they're friends with everyone on the train, they're drunk drinking with whoever, and some brides like that. But some brides just want someone who's chilled and relaxed. And my brides tend to me, because I'm very relaxed, I'm very calm, and they're like, you made me feel, great about the pictures, it felt amazing, and that's what I kind of like to offer my brides.
Okay, so but when you have brides that are on a budget, I know budgets differ and they vary, but what are the things you advise a client when they are maybe working below your usual asking price? What do you advise them to do so that you can actually still work with them?
Yes.
Or just generally with vendors?
Exactly. Everyone has a budget, everyone has different priorities. So sometimes the different things you can do, most photographers will offer you number of photographers, hours of coverage, an album, and different products. So, if there's a photographer that you love and you just have to work with, you can say, I can't afford an album, I can't even afford 2 photographers, but I really need you to be there, you know, and then people can work with that. And also, you know, some photographers, if it's an interesting wedding, you know, amazing decor or something else, they'll go, if you can change your wedding to another day when I'm free or a day I wouldn't have booked anyway, maybe I can work with you half price. So it's always worth talking to the photographer and seeing what they can offer and see how you can work together. Because if a photographer wants to work with you, they can charge less for their time. I mean, you always have the hard costs, but once you take that away, then things can become a lot cheaper and more cost effective.
Okay, sounds good. So, my darling, awesome clients, first thing, you need to speak to your photographer. Yes, look at pictures, it's awesome, tag your friends, mention them, you guys have that discussion offline, but by the time you want to actually engage a photographer, you need to speak. You need to ensure that you guys are on the same page. And you need to ensure that they own their pictures. We've had a lot of that in recent times, and clients help us protect our work, ensure you're engaging the right person, the person that actually did that work. Now, we're 5 years WOWCONNECT, Wani. Yeah. So I want to do something nice for my clients. Yes, they'll engage me, I know. But give us, like, when they engage me and say, it's Wani, or I say, okay, bride, I think it's Wani you need, what discounts are you going to give them?
Well, I would personally love to offer them a complimentary engagement shoot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, it's great for them to like practice, especially people who are not so comfortable in front of the camera. It's great for them to practice and get some beautiful pictures.
Oh, awesome. Wani, thank you. What's your Instagram handle?
At Wani Olatunde Photog.
I can imagine. So you see the different angles. Wani is good with all those angles, making your wedding look fab. So I think you should check her out. And thank you so much for celebrating with us. Let's continue this conversation. Let's hear your thoughts on photographers and your experiences. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and let's talk. Remember to be awesome.